Hey guys, Bobby Macy here with SeeMyCampsite.com. Welcome to another video. Today we are at East Canyon State Park in Utah. This is technically in Morgan County, but this is a hidden gem in Utah because it's only 35 miles northeast of Salt Lake City. We're talking downtown. We're talking you can be here in under an hour from anywhere in the Wasatch Front, really. First, camping galore. We have RV sites, we have individual tent sites, full hookups, partial hookups. We have glamping in covered wagons. We have tents, we have places to do a hammock. We have 4 yurts. Now, all of these are available through the summer months, and some of them are available even after Labor Day. Now, like any other park, this is gonna be a little bit more crowded on the weekends than it is during the week. But nonetheless, you should be able to find a spot and you will love it here. There's a campground on the north side and on the south side. The larger group sites are actually on the south side, whereas the smaller campsites for individual families are on the north side. And that's where most of the action's happening. That's where you can rent kayaks, paddle boards, jet skis. There's also a really cool area that you can pay to have access to. That's a floating island. That's a wonderful playground for the kids with a giant rock wall in the middle of the lake. Also, here on site, we have a general store, and that's great because in case you forget the ice or a gallon of milk, got you covered. There's also a chef on site that's making food daily. All right, so as you can see behind me, people are docking their jet skis, docking their boats. And one of the important things to know about East Canyon State Park, and this is actually super cool because not every other park does this, that is that there's dry storage for your boat. There is a gated area where you can actually leave your boat here if you want to just dock it there, let it hang out, and you can go home, you can live your life, and you come back another day and use it. Great opportunity to just use your boat on a frequent basis here and have it stored here. There is also a decontamination station here for your boat or your jet skis. And so if you've been in Lake Powell or some out of the state recently and then you want to come here, you will need proof of decontamination, or you can decontaminate your boat here on site. Okay, you've heard me talking enough. Now let's go check out the campsite. So here we are at Dixie Campground at East Canyon State Park. Now this is the most attractive camping spot in the entire park because as you can see, we've got RV hookups behind us, but you can also have tents here. There's a day use area right there, which we'll show you in a few minutes, but this is awesome. Here's why. 33 campsites. Now, each of those has a back-in RV spot available to you. The inner ring of this entire site is going to be full hookups, water, power, sewage for your RV. The outside ring of this campsite is going to be water and power, but no sewage. So I guess what you would call partial hookups. Now, this is just a continuous loop. Each site comes with some standard features. You've got a pavilion, you've got a table, and you've got a campfire pit. And there's a grassy area at each site where you can pitch a tent if you don't have an RV. But really, I mean, these are awesome sites within walking distance. We are talking less than 200 yards, no more than a football field. Any of these sites will be at the showers and the toilets with flushing and running water. So great place to be. You've got great visibility of the reservoir itself. You're several hundred yards away from that reservoir and the day use area. But this is an awesome place for you to come. You're also on high ground. At the high ground, you will have some cell reception, but it's a little bit spotty depending on which site you're in. And we tested T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T. So between those main providers, you will get some cell reception here, but don't count on 100%. One additional thing to note about this campsite specifically is there is a limit capacity of 8 people per campsite. Even if you have multiple cars, an additional vehicle will cost you an extra $25 per night, but you still only have the capacity of 8 people per site, and that is enforced here. So let's take a look at some of these sites individually. Right, so we wanted to show you what the view looks like from the very top of the campground. Now, this is up by the Wagons, which we will show you later, and you can rent those. But you've got a bathroom area right here with showers. And not too far away, right in the middle of the campsites, you have an additional restroom that has the running water and the showers. And then toward the bottom of the campsite and closer to the yurts, you have more restrooms with showers. So this is extremely convenient because no matter which site you choose, you're going to have very close access and you'll be in a close proximity to the running water, the restrooms, the showers. Okay, so this is a super fun part of this campground. You have 4 yurts. Now we are at the Hog's Back Yurt. Each of them has a different name, but they are all the same in regard to they have a big giant deck with Trex deck. You've got seating area, benches, a table, and inside the yurt, which we're gonna show you in a minute, is pretty awesome. You've also got a fire pit associated with this yurt, and they are right next to some bathrooms. But let's go inside and check this out. Inside this yurt is pretty amazing. You've got the bunk beds, which are great, right? But you've got a full bed on bottom, you've got a twin on top, you got your protection with the smoke alarm, you got a nice skylight here. The bummer is that in the summer, there is no AC in here, so you are gonna be a little toasty, you've got your fan, but this is a nice place to hang out. This is a futon bed. You can pull it out and have some more sleeping area. There's also some room if you needed to put an air mattress in here, you could. One thing to notice about these yurts is that there are limited power outlets. So it would be wise for you to consider bringing a power strip if you have multiple devices that you're gonna need to be charging on a regular basis, because your fan's gonna take up one for sure, or your heater's gonna take up one of those outlets. So things to consider, but overall, great experience here in this yurt. Okay, if you thought that I was excited about the yurts, wait till you see these wagons. Now, this is a super cool concept. It's semi-pioneer-ish, and there's just something rustic about it. But these cabins are actually super nice because you have a king bed in there, and then you have a bunk bed with a set of twin beds. You also have a little mini fridge, access to power, access to water on site, not in the wagon itself. You've got a fire pit, a pavilion, and you are right next to the restrooms. So any one of these wagons will be a great time for you and your family. All right, so here we are. There are 2 wooden cabins. Each is equipped with bunk beds that have queen beds on them or fulls. Couldn't quite tell what they are, but there's enough for 2 people to sleep there on each level. And you've got the mini fridge, you've got the microwave, you've got air conditioning, which is massive in the summer. And you have undeniably the best view of any of the spots to sleep overnight here. All right, so obviously we're at East Canyon, but we can't forget to thank our sponsor, Knockaround Sunglasses. The best part about Knockaround Sunglasses is 1, they're affordable, 2, they're amazingly good looking sunglasses. We've got custom pairs that you can create. We've got standard pairs that they've created for you, polarized lenses, non-polarized lenses. The choice is yours, really. Use this code at checkout to get a discount on your first pair. All right, welcome back. Now we have driven a few miles to the south from that main area that you just saw, and we are at Big Rock Campground. This campground is still associated with and owned by East Canyon State Park, but it's a little bit different from what you just saw. No RV hookups, no power, no potable water. This is what we would consider more granola type camping. You bring your tent, sure you could bring an RV, but you know, it's not gonna have those hookups like we already mentioned. And this does have beach access. Now, as you can see, these sites here, they do have that reverse in RV spot, but then there are an additional 5 sites that are for day use only. Campsites 1 through 21 are overnight campsites. You can spend the night here, enjoy, Campsites 22 through 25 appear to be day use only. You still have to pay the recreational fee to park here to use the site, but at least you have a pavilion with a metal campfire ring and some shade from the hot sun. One other feature that this campsite has is what we're going to call a hammock ring. It's a giant metal structure where you've got different hookups and you can hang multiple hammocks in there. It's still gonna cost you a day recreational fee to come in to use that, but you got a nice breeze, get to relax, nice view of the lake, and ultimately, this site is several miles away from the main East Canyon area. That's where all the food is. That's where you're gonna dock your boat. That's where you're gonna rent the paddle boards and the kayaks and be able to play on the inflatable island. That's that area. But if you want a little more seclusion and something that is much less crowded, this is a great option for you. Now we are at the River's Edge Campground, which is technically for group sites only. So think larger groups. And we've got two main areas here covered with pavilions, multiple tables, campfire pit. Once again, we do not have RV hookups or anything of the sort. You gotta pack in and pack out. But this is a great area if you wanna be a little bit more secluded. You do have a longer walk to the lake, but then also here you've got some pit restrooms. Once again, no running water. Here we are at Large Spring Campground. Now, this is near a few more campgrounds that are group areas, but you have to reserve these beforehand. Otherwise, the gates could be closed. This particular site does not have running water, so you are gonna have to pack that in and pack it out, but you do have some pit restrooms and you have river access that is fishable for all of those anglers out there. One thing to note about this site and the others that we're about to show you is that they are only accessible via a dirt road. Now, we drove sedans here, so bring your minivan, bring your car. You don't need a Jeep or a truck to get here. Bring the family, come camp, come hang out. Here we are at Mormon Flat Campground. This is another group site, and this area is named, it's in Little Immigration Canyon, and it's named for when early members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints came to Utah and settled the Salt Lake Valley. They passed right through this area. So in this specific spot, we've got some tents that are already set up. They have some metal rings for campfires and covers. You've got some wooden tables and chairs, and then you've got a massive grass area in which you can pitch multiple tents. So for just $75 a night, you can get up to 100 people in this area to camp. And it's kind of off the beaten path, but what a great little nook. And there you have it, my friends. We hope this review of East Canyon State Park and its associated properties in Utah was helpful to you. If it was indeed, please hit that like button and do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will have more reviews just like these coming in the near future. Have a fantastic day and keep adventuring.